New studies are finding that some girls are hitting puberty earlier and earlier. One expert is calling this, quote, a great natural experiment that they might not know the results for years. So today we've got Dr. Payal Kholi on to kind of talk through what we understand about these studies, what we should be doing with this information. So I think my first question is there kind of a standard age that I realize it's different for every young girl, but standard, and then what's early?
You know, it's been shifting over the years. We've noticed even in the past couple of decades, it's slowly shifting. But about 12 and a half is mostly the age when girls get their period, which we sort of define as puberty. But actually, puberty is a continuum, a spectrum. It starts, you know, with breast bud development, underarm hair, pubic hair, just the continuum. And then menarche, which is the onset of the period, is really when it's sort of crystallized. But that's what we're using as a benchmark. And it started to now happen, you know, kids as early as 8, 9, 10 years old.
Wow.
We know that there's some racial differences as well in terms of what is normal for which races to get puberty when, but we're really seeing a big shift in the whole spectrum.
And then I guess the next question is, why do we think this is happening? And also, is this girls and boys or just little girls?
More girls, actually, interestingly enough. But boys as well overall, but girls I think more dramatically. And we don't really know why, but we speculate that there's a few different reasons. So the first is stress. You know, we know that mental health issues in our kids are now higher than ever. And as that goes up, we release more cortisol, which is a hormone that works on the same sort of receptors as many of the sex hormones do. The second, Jenny, is exposures. So we're now seeing that our kids are having more exposures to harmful chemicals like parabens, things like cosmetics, shampoos, hair products, phthalates, which can be in cleaning products and such, and then BPAs, which can be in plastics. So we think those are called endocrine disrupting chemicals. They can mess with our natural hormones and when they come on. And the third and probably the biggest reason that we're seeing the shift is, you know, just like the rest of us, our kids are becoming more obese and their body mass index is going up. And the obesity can trigger early onset puberty.
So it could be each of these, it could be one of these, it could be a combination of these.
Probably, yeah.
You said that we're starting to see this shift. Can you talk about what we've seen over the past couple decades shifting and also recent shifting? Because we have to include the pandemic in almost any medical conversation we have anymore.
Yes. So it sort of slowly was creeping up over the past couple of decades. And then the pandemic has really sort of accelerated that course. And the demographic of the type of girl that we're seeing having early onset puberty is different after the demographic as compared to before. So it's not the girl with the elevated body mass index, the obese young girl. It's actually more of the thinner girl. And not only are they coming on earlier, we're also seeing that the time course of puberty, how long it takes for them to go through puberty, appears to have accelerated as well. Now, one of the other theories is that all the screen time during the pandemic, which many of us have continued to do, has actually disrupted our melatonin, which can not just regulate our mental health, but also regulate
our
puberty,
sleep
and our puberty and our sex hormones. So we wonder if that may have part of what's going on with the effect of the pandemic.
Okay, final question, some news you can use for parents if you think your kid might be hitting puberty a little early, or if you're just wanting to know maybe what should they be asking doctors, is there anything you can do about that? I guess send us off with some advice for parents here.
Yes, I would say look for the signs and symptoms of puberty, so breast bud development, underarm hair growth, and if you think it's coming a little too early, of course the onset of periods, then talk to your kid's doctor. For the most part, we don't generally treat it, you know, when it comes on early, unless it's caused by potentially a brain tumor or some other underlying problem. But it may be something that we might want to think about treating, and a doctor can run tests. They can look at the bone age as compared to the chronological age, and that can help to confirm whether your child is indeed having accelerated puberty or not.
Okay, well, that's some good information today. Thank you, Dr. Kholi.